welcome back all you retro bikers, and welcome back to the channel. And this is a part 2. It's like a reaction video from my, well, successful, I suppose you'd call it, debate video on did government policy kill motorcycling in the 1970s and the 1980s. And I've had some great numbers, and I'm not really about numbers because it's just a bit of fun. And it's just a memory channel, but nevertheless I'm very passionate about motorcycling, especially from this era. And some of the comments that people came back with to me were fantastic. I'm really impressed with how people have thought things out, and a lot of people, rightly or wrongly, thought that it was handled very badly. And I'm gonna bring some of them comments to you today, and you can make your own decision. And obviously comment below. But nevertheless, I still stand from what I said before. Something had to be done. But your comments, I've got to agree, you come up with some great things. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. So we've got a long time rider here, Nod, and he believed that the training was the right way to go with the younger riders. But he also believed it was the government's intention to get people off the road. We have a long time subscriber in Roger. Always good to hear from you, Roger. And he said initially it wasn't an issue, but it killed it with the further license restrictions, the A2, the CBT nonsense, in his word, and it made it too expensive. So my next comment is from Peter. He got very strong views on the speed. He thought they were too fast, the bikes were too fast. And he got very strong views on the helmet laws. He thought they were hideous, that people didn't want to wear a helmet. And importantly, he spoke about the traffic, the volume of traffic, how it's increased from like the early 80s to now, and people not having correct training. So one of the strong arguments was by Rick. He said that my stats didn't really add up, and that's the way I interpret it. He says if you take people off the road, the casualty rate's going to go down, which what the government intended to do, and that's very true. But on the other hand, Rick, 2013 is when I got my figures from, and since then the sales have increased, and there's a lot more traffic on the road, and a lot more training. And we're nowhere near back at that 79 casualty rate. But nevertheless, a great comment, and it's one worth looking more into. So my next comment is from somebody from the scooter community, John. Now John's a bit of a like myself. He's a born-again scooter boy, and I'm a born-again biker. And he's done his test more recently, and he's back on the road. And he just thinks that everybody today is that older generation, and he would like to see the younger generation be encouraged to ride scooters and motorcycles. So I got a comment from Dave. Now Dave think it was a good idea moving from 250s down to 125s. The performance was just too much, the X7s, the LC, the two-strokes. But on a personal level, he actually lost a lot of money. He had an immaculate Kawasaki 250, and it was worthless when he went to trade it in. So not happy times for Dave in that regard. So I had a comment from Fish. He certainly thinks the policy killed it, but he did agree with the helmet laws. They should have been brought in. But he likes us to remember what a great time it was on his FS1E back in '76, and all the great times he had, and I think that's definitely worth a mention. So we've got an expat here, Tim. He lives in Germany today, and he explained how difficult it is to actually ride there without the proper lessons, and he agrees with it. And also he spoke about the carnage back in the UK, and it was going in the wrong direction, in his opinion. I had a very interesting comment from GNT, and I've considered this myself because I left about this time. I left school and tried to purchase a bike myself. If you haven't got a job, you can't afford a motorbike. You can't afford the new training schemes. It's a great comment, GNT, and very relevant in this video. I had many comments like Tony's talking about the dangers of the slow moped, and especially today as well. And what he's basically saying is that they should be banned, and if you're 16 you should have a 125, because everything's in place. You've got the CBT, the proper training for people, and there's no reason why they can't ride a 125. And obviously that would bring new people into motorcycling in a safer manner. Now Frank led the way. It could have been a lot of people came up with this. Discrimination against motorcyclists. Why can you have a car at 17, ultimate BHP, but not a motorcycle? And it does seem like discrimination. I have to concede on this one. Great comment, Frank. I spoke to a nerd on through Facebook, and they came up with so many comments, so many good points really, how it's ruined motorcycling today. And this video is not long enough with all the great points that were brought up, but nevertheless, I just mentioned a few, that people aren't as robust as they are back then. We haven't got the great races today, and motorcycling is not deemed as fun anymore because of all the restrictions. But I really appreciate all your comment. Thank you very much. So I can't really go into any more detail. This video will go on all night. But one of the great comments I had was, back in the 80s, why didn't the government make it 21 for 250s? And it would have kept all those 250s on the road. What a great comment. I wish they'd done that, and we still have some of them great bikes on the road today. So I've got a next video, please look out for it, is on the culture. And it's not just, I'm just going to pick out one, there's going to be a lot more than this, and it's on your registration number. I'm not saying everybody's going to remember, but can you remember your first registration number on your first moped or motorbike? Can you remember how much you paid for it and how many miles you did on it? There's some of these great memories, and I hope in the next video I'm going to recapture some of those memories, so please look out for it.